Ah, headset mic. There it is again. Thanks for that sound, Captain Katz. I'm sorry I wasn't actually on the stream to hear it. I was in the middle of setup, so I didn't even get to hear my own little the remix. I really like that remix too. Let me hold on. I gotta set up the Discord audio for whoever's gonna join me in Discord chat, and maybe change the music I'm listening to. But It should be working. Why aren't you working, Discord audio? Why must you always be this way? Oh, god damn it. No, it's a really good remix. I like it a lot. But there's also just the regular Pretzel Rock's music playing in the background for right now, because I don't play the Pretzel Rock music during the game, because that would detract from the experience of being on a plane. My game capture isn't doing its thing right now. There it is. Anywho, let's see what it's gonna do. For some reason, the Discord audio output isn't going to where I want it to. And if it doesn't want to do that, then we're just not going to use it. Default. The thingy. Yay, it works now. Okay. If anyone's joining me on the Discord, that'll work. It's not like I haven't done that crossword puzzle 7 times now. I have the music that's in the game. It's not great. So I don't listen to the music in the game, but I do listen to the podcasts that are in the game. This is really loud in my ears. Anyway, if you're not familiar with airplane mode, it is IFC game simulation of you being in fucking coach in real time from JFK to Halifax, Halifax to JFK, or JFK to Reykjavik, and Reykjavik back to JFK. I'll do the 6-hour flight, which is Reykjavik, another time, because it glitched out on me both times. And I didn't get to experience the meal, and I really want to experience the meal. So I'm very upset that it glitched out on me for those 2 times. But this is all it is. You sit in the fucking plane. We're in Halifax. There's my plane neighbor. You have the TV thingy in front of you. If I don't put on my seatbelt, the weird ginger flight attendant that looks very creepy will tell me in a moment. And look, I don't have arms.
Fasten your seatbelt, please.
Fasten your seatbelt, please. There, I did it. Okay. Need you fighting. Take it off again! I'm gonna recline my seat during takeoff. That's not an achievement for that. But yeah, let me get the Twitch going on my tablet, otherwise I can't see the chat. But, yeah, this has been my new thing. Now I strap in for Sunday flights because it's somewhat... We don't need to hear me. It's somewhat relaxing, I guess. God damn it. Gosh damn it. And maybe I will do I was trying to see if I can run marbles and this game at the same time, and I can't because this game is just way too graphics intensive for what it is.
Hello, passengers. At this time, the forward entry door is closed. All large electronic devices should now be shut off and stowed, and all small portable electronic devices must be set to airplane mode. Make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright and locked position, and that your seatbelt is correctly fastened. Should you have any difficulty with this, please ring your call button, and a flight attendant will guide you through the process. If you have not yet done so, please stow your carry-on luggage underneath the seat in front of you or in an overhead bin, taking care not to force any item into a space that is too small for it. Then please take your seat and fasten your seatbelt. If you are seated in an emergency exit row, carefully read the safety information card located in your seat back pocket.
Oh, god damn it.
If you do not wish, are unable,
I'm wearing my headphones so I get to hear it all muffled.
of an emergency, a flight attendant will reseat.
But the fun part of this is that the PanAtlantica safety thingy video
choice. Tampering with
The flight attendant on this looks so
is
creepy.
prohibited by law. Please note that e-cigarettes are not a loophole to this regulation.
I don't want to hear that sound
Questions
alert
on
again.
today's flight, please feel free to ask a flight attendant. Thank you.
And doot. Right, I forgot. I don't like hearing that. Ah,
Ladies and
yay.
gentlemen, please direct your attention to the seatback monitors ahead of you for a video demonstrating
No,
the safety
I
features
need
of
to
this
change
aircraft.
this to Imperial.
We recognize some of you may be frequent travelers, but this information is important and we ask for your
Yes,
undivided
I'm
attention
a
at
frequent
this time.
traveler. Pretty sure this is either my 5th or my 6th flight.
Hello and welcome aboard. We'd like to
Phone's
thank you
battery
for
is
flying
dying.
PanAtlantica.
We know you have many other choices, from regional carriers to national and international airlines. But you chose us, and that means a lot. Thank you so much.
Now, before we take off, please pay attention to the following safety video.
If you haven't done so already, please fasten your seatbelt. In order to accomplish this, simply follow these simple steps. First, grasp the flat metal end of the seatbelt in your right hand. You can easily identify this part of the seatbelt by the square hole on one end. Next, with your left hand, pick up the buckle, and then slowly and steadily move the metal end towards the buckle, keeping both ends perfectly aligned.
But I mean, look at her eyes. What
Insert
we're
the
showing.
metal end into the buckle until you hear it click.
To tighten the strap, find the end of the strap and pull. Careful not to pull too tight, or you'll have to loosen it once more.
To release your seatbelt,
Look at her eyes. They're so like weirdly
find the top of
open
the buckle.
and dead.
Once you've found the top of the buckle, lift it up and it will release.
Now it's time to get
Look at
underway
that.
to your exciting destination.
Isn't that creepy?
Whether it's sipping wine
She's
in
reading
Paris
his
or whale
lines, but it's
watching
still
in
really
Nova Scotia.
creepy.
Please make sure your seat is all the way up, all electronic devices are shut off and put away, and your tray table is stowed.
Carry-on luggage should be placed all the way under the seat in front of you or in the overhead bin.
Is this for purses?
Please switch your handheld devices to airplane mode now. Please be aware that failure to do so could lead to a potentially catastrophic navigation disaster.
But there wasn't one. The last time I did this, the last time I left my phone on the in airplane
US
mode
law
the whole time, it
strictly
didn't do
prohibits
anything.
smoking on the airplane at any time.
Okay,
Tampering
turn
with,
that
disabling, or destroying smoke detectors in the lavatory may result in a fine.
It's now time to take out and review the safety card, located in the seat back pocket in front of you.
Note the fine craftsmanship, colorful, clear illustrations, and sturdy laminations. Our safety cards are built to last. Use the safety card to find the plane's exits marked by the large arrows and the word exit. There are exits in the front and rear of the plane.
In the event of an evacuation from the cabin, follow the emergency lights to an exit. We ask that you leave all carry-on items behind.
If you feel you must grab something to bring along as you evacuate, we suggest you take a copy of PanAtlantica's award-winning in-flight magazine, Stratosphere.
What I
Filled
am
with
gonna
gorgeous
do
pictures of hotels,
is take
sponsored
the
reviews
freaking
for high-end
sleeping pill.
restaurants, as well as maps of every major airport and fun games to play, like Sudoku.
Should the airplane cabin lose pressure, do
Wonder
not
what
panic.
happens when I run out of
Oxygen masks will
sleeping
drop
pills.
automatically. When they do, again, do not panic. The yellow cup fits over your nose and mouth, and the elastic band fits around the back of your head. Normal breathing will start the flow of oxygen. Remember, put your own mask on
I'm
first
messing with
before
your light,
helping
dude.
others. We promise it's the right thing to do.
Life vests
Your
can be
air.
found next to, over, or underneath your seat, or in some cases, behind your seat. It depends on the model of the plane you're flying in. Once you are safely outside the airplane, pull on the tab to inflate your vest, or inflate manually using
We're moving this whole time, didn't realize
There is
it.
no need to do both.
Please note that your seat cushion can also be used as a flotation device. How clever!
I had to switch over to a thing for a moment. They should give me new crossword puzzles, but they don't give me new crossword puzzles. I need to make sure all the audio stuff is on because I was messing with this earlier. I needed to just make sure all that's there. And gotta do one more thing with this game bug because I don't think it's doing the color key. There it goes. Yeah, I need that to be transparent. Transparentals. And we're gonna go try to see if we can find the other achievements that are in this game. Gonna turn off Pretzel Rock. Actually, I might turn on Pretzel Rock again, but I think I'm gonna run Jazz if I can run Jazz. Very quiet volume in the background. And who has joined me?
We taking off again?
Taking off soon.
I'm watching the Packers game. Oh my god.
Right,
Let's
I
just
forgot
say
football exists.
Let's just say that I got money on.
Your cabin crew will now be coming around to do a final cabin check. Everyone here at PanAtlantica
Yeah, if I say
is
something
making your
stupid,
flight
don't.
today a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
But I don't mind
To
the
make your
first
flight
man.
more enjoyable, please don't
You can be
hesitate
on
to
foot
ask
talk
using the
then.
call button.
We hope you have an
I'll just put myself on mute.
relaxing.
Or productive flight.
We here
Because I have a button on my headset.
Because-
Like, you know.
Well, so do I.
It just makes it easier to go click than having to hold down the fucking button. Like.
G'day, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
This
God
is
damn
Ian
it.
speaking. On behalf of myself and the flight crew, it's our distinct pleasure to welcome you on board Flight 709 with non-stop service to New York.
I gotta figure out. I don't want to look up what the other
Flight time
achievements
today
are,
should
but
be
I know
around
there's
2
still like
hours, 42
27 of
minutes.
them.
We'll be flying
I've already
at
done the
around,
illegal ones, I
36,000
think.
feet off the ground,
The bathroom one.
and we'll be traveling at about 370 miles per hour.
No, because there's nobody else on here. I already
I'll be
chatted
back
with
in
the
touch
stranger.
if we've got any other updates for you en route. For now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the
I've
flight.
also passed out in the bathroom and like other things. Like I've hit the call button enough in the bathroom that the you can hear the flight attendants knocking and going, "Sir, are you okay in there?" But when you open the door, no one's there. I'm like, at least model up the
Folks,
the
there's
creepy one.
only, 2 planes ahead of us on the runway right now. We should be off the ground in a couple of minutes.
I am looking at you, sir.
Where are you flying to now?
From Halifax to JFK again. Because I forgot that I flew to Halifax a couple weeks before because my friend wanted to see the game. And I can't just jump into the game and then stop it. I have to complete the flight. I mean, you can, it's just that I don't want to. So I end up completing the flight. The trip to
Aaron
the
Rodgers, please. The Packers just win this game. I'm sorry, but
No,
Tom
wait,
Brady
it was
can go
flight.
suck a dick.
It was flight to nowhere that I wanted to.
Tom Brady, you can go suck a dick because I don't want to see you at the Super Bowl.
Okay, well, football talk. Mute yourself, because I don't care. I worked for NFL. That's enough for me. I hate this. I never get through this movie. It always gets to a weird spot, and then I'm distracted by the magazine. crossword puzzle last time? I think I did. I don't remember. I mean, we've done it so many times. I think I know most of the answers. And no, wait, no, I don't need this, and then I took the sleeping pill. Oh, gunshot. That's what I missed too. The opening scenes of this movie, because I was busy doing other things again. Forgot is Utica for some reason. I knew that I drew a weird cat in the sketchbook last time. Obviously not here.
Did we start?
I think we're on the taxi. Kitty with a party hat because it's Crazy Kitten's birthday thing, I guess. It's got weird fat legs.
It got 3 weird fat legs and a pointy leg.
Its ears are...
I'm a pirate.
It's a pirate cat. This is clearly a peg leg. There, it's wood. I'm a pirate kitty. Happy birthday to Pam. Pam is 5 years old today. I think I wrote better when I was 5.
Okay, George, she's all yours. Through for the day, Hobie? I'm through for the weekend. And you can sweep out all that rice. Do you realize that in the last 24 hours I've flown 4 couples up to Las Vegas to get married?
Ah, what are you beefing about? You make nothing but dough.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You know, sometimes I think money isn't everything.
Oh, we're at the...
That reminds me, I've got
Yay,
to
we'll be taking off soon. And then my ears will plug up, and that'll be fun.
See you later.
Okay.
Mr. Carrington, you are Hobie Carrington, aren't you?
We'll draw
Can we go somewhere where we could talk?
another kitty that's shaped funny, because I can't draw these again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm taking a
Scottish
weekend
fold.
off. I just told my mechanic to...
I know what you told your mechanic, but you see, this is very important to me. I have to get to Death Valley.
Getting married?
Oh, no, of course not. Why should you ask?
Are we crossing a runway?
Doing is flying a
Taking
milk
off.
run.
I can't tell. Look like we crossed the runway.
Small restaurant, corner table.
My bag is just lost.
Cabin crew prepare for takeoff.
Cabin crew prepare for takeoff. Oh no, did that fuck up the audio? Oh god damn it. I hate when it does that, because then I gotta restart the movie. Oh no, we're rumbling. We must be on run. Yep. No, I'm not gonna be able to draw while we're rumbling. Because look, it makes my pen go. backlot at all. Let's take a photo of that lighthouse. Okay, now we can't. Did you see that lighthouse, sir? Sir? How come you're watching just the credits? How come everyone's watching just the credits? This person, their video's frozen. You're just gonna watch the credits for 2 hours, aren't you? Because no, I haven't done this crossword puzzle 5 times already. Going to be a challenge is the puzzle on the next page. So that one requires math. Yeah, I forgot what 10 down was. The low people, I don't know. This is 16 across. I also don't remember. 10 down was modern day Shiva.
Through for the day, Hobie? I'm through for the weekend. And you can sweep out all that rice. Do you realize that in the last 24 hours I've flown 4 couples up to Las Vegas to get married?
Ah, what are you beefing about? You make nothing but dough.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You know, sometimes I think money isn't everything. That reminds me, I've got to call Myrtle.
It's weird that they had to look under the plane because they'd be able to see her from over the plane.
See you later.
Okay.
Mr. Carrington? You are Hobie Carrington, aren't you?
Yeah?
Can we go somewhere where we could talk?
I'm listening. Go right ahead.
I want to charter your plane.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm taking the weekend off. I just told my mechanic...
I know what you told your mechanic, but you see, this is very important to me. I have to get to Death Valley.
Getting married?
Oh, no, of course not. Why should you ask?
Because all I've been doing is flying the milk run for Cupid. Now I want to relax. Small restaurant, corner table, soft lights, soft music, soft shoulders.
Why not have dinner with me?
Who turned up the brightness?
That's all I've had today. Where did we go?
I had a table reserved in the hotel in Death Valley.
Oh, just make out like I didn't say anything.
Oh, I'll pay you well. I'll give you $500. On account.
On account?
Oh, I'll pay you some more. You see, I might want you to stay there a few days. Now, what about that dinner?
You know, I'm just beginning to develop an appetite. By the way, what's your name?
Yeah, and that's about as much of this as
Catherine Forrest. Can we leave right away?
All right, Miss Forrest. I'll meet you at the plane as soon as I wash up. Hi, Hobie. Well, Bob Donovan. I always had a hunch you'd wind up as a washroom attendant. But then I suppose it's pretty tough for a tired old ex-major to find a job these days. Couldn't you hawk those gold oak leaves you used to sport around the China Burma Theater?
The same old Hobie. Keeping your eyes and your ears
closed and your mouth open.
You haven't changed a bit.
That's right. The same old Hobie that used to risk his neck for you. Remember the time you dropped me off in a Japanese jungle and left me there for 3 weeks to decode messages for you?
Sure. You're the best counter-espionage agent we had. I could use you right now. That is, the government does.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're not going together anymore. Don't you remember, I'm a civilian now. You should see me out some night in my new pinstripe uniform. By the way, what are you doing since you got out?
Oh, I've just changed uniforms.
And turbulence.
Right now, I'm looking for a map.
In here?
Well, maybe I can get you to help me find it.
Not a chance. I'm flying charter now.
Now, if you watched the last time that I did this flight, Allie got really excited about doing the Sudoku puzzle.
I'll be able to find you here in your office, I presume.
And if Allie comes back now, we can do the Sudoku puzzle.
You all set,
Same
George?
puzzle.
Just about. Say, Hobie, there's a storm coming in. You may have to fly over it. I'll put the oxygen in.
Okay. Oh, Miss Forrest.
Yes? What is it? I'm in Forest.
You're Miss Forrest. I thought...
Oh, hello, Mr. Carrington. You seem a little confused. This is Miss Catherine Forrest. I used her name because mine is too hard for people to remember. I'm the Countess Maritza de Frasco. Anyway, this is quite all right with you, isn't it, dear? Oh, why, of course.
And who are these other people, chaperones?
Oh, these are your other passengers. Mr. Van Bush, Mr. Forrest, and Mr. Porter. This is our pilot, Mr. Carrington.
How do you do, sir? Oh, I'm afraid we may have to fly over some weather.
Just what does that mean?
Might have to use oxygen.
Well, maybe we better not go then, Kathy.
Oh, what's the difference? Let's get going.
But I never use oxygen.
That's all right. You'll be sitting in front with me. I'll take care of you.
It sounds rather frightening.
What? Sitting with me or using oxygen?
Well, maybe I try them both and find out.
No, oxygen isn't at all bad. I used it overseas. As a matter of fact, it's quite exhilarating.
Really?
Yes.
That's such a weird notion.
I still don't like the idea of all the company.
Oh, but we're having dinner together.
Are there any special seating arrangements, pilot?
Well, Miss Forrest, the Countess, is sitting up front with me. You can make yourselves comfortable any place you like.
Thanks.
Here's a weather report, Hobie. Oh, here's something else that just came.
And look, even the little hole starts to get the condensation. Oh, something's happening.
Happy landing.
This Kakuro is mathematics. Still use the numbers 1 through 9, but they add up to bits and these cutouts.
Hey, Porter.
In both directions.
I thought you were going to watch the scenery.
More difficult.
Oh.
This is 2 and 1.
Yes, indeed. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Here or there.
I have no clue.
Pick me for this trip.
Oh, you were the only charter pilot available?
What do you mean the only one available?
Well, all the other ones were booked up solid for the weekend. It must be quite a thrill to be able to handle a plane like you do. Been flying long?
A few years.
You were a flyer during...
I actually read this entire article on the...
Why didn't you tell me you were bringing a whole party of people?
Oh, well, it was sort of...
But it was
at the last
interesting.
moment.
And it's the only article in this magazine, besides the one from Mars. I don't think I've read
At the hotels. They're usually booked up in advance.
Oh, I'm sure we'll be able to find something.
What's the matter?
I don't know. It's looking out and down. It seems to bother me.
Don't you feel well?
No, I think I better go back and sleep in the cabin. Caddy, will you change places with me? Why, sure, I'd love to.
But why? There's an empty seat there.
I'll be glad to sit up here, Cassie. I don't mind it at all.
But I want to sit in the cockpit, Jan.
Look, mister, you can't stand up front.
Jan, why don't you go back and keep Mr. Porter company?
Well, he doesn't need any company. He's fast asleep.
You know the only money I can lay my hands
Turned on your air.
I've sent for little
Poking at your your screen, but you guys are just watching the credits. Everyone over there is watching the credits. This one's got a frozen screen. The bathroom is open.
So often, Yoda. I think you're beginning to believe it yourself.
Right.
Bathroom's open. Let's go mess with it. Oh no, my headphones are still connected to the seat.
What altitude are we flying at?
About 14,000. Better put on your oxygen mask. You go back to your seat and fasten your safety belt. We'll have to hit some rough weather. Tell the rest of the people to put on their oxygen masks.
I think we figured out last time that you can't clog the toilet. I tried. Sleeping pills kicking in. Yep. Flight attendant person, please help. My sleeping pill is kicking in.
Why didn't you tell me you couldn't take oxygen?
I didn't know.
Oh, you tried it. Keep your hands up. Sit down. You can't talk to me that way.
Fall asleep in the bathroom again.
What happens to your passengers? Wasn't even connected. You ought to be sued for negligence. You've probably kicked it loose when you're up here before.
Maybe let's kick it loose.
Anyway, this is not the time to talk about it. We're coming into Death Valley. Mr. Carrington
and asleep.
No place to start an argument. Sit down, Van Bush.
G'day everybody, this is the captain speaking. We're cruising now, altitude of about 30,000 feet. Hopefully the weather cooperates and we'll have a nice smooth ride. I'll let you know if we've got any other updates for you. For now.
I like that it was echoey because I was falling asleep. Just a stream of falling asleep on the toilet in the bathroom. I'm gonna wake up at my chair, I think. Last time I fell asleep in the bathroom, I woke up in my chair. But then the previous time before that, I woke up in the bathroom. I'm still in the bathroom. Time I did that, you could faintly hear them saying, "Hello, sir, are you okay?" There was like knocking, but and when you open the door, no one's there.
How do you feel, Miss Forrest?
A little woozy, but I'll be all right.
I'll take care of her.
Carrington, are you sure that oxygen...
Oh look, now it's glitched out on all of their screens.
Everything was
EA was playing when I was watching.
What are you expecting to say, Liz?
Hey, Snacks came.
Look, mister, you're asking for it, aren't you?
I miss Snacks again.
This won't do anybody any good. We're safely here.
Joke's on you, I have Snacks in my hand.
Well, it isn't his fault if she isn't.
Oh, stop, Claude. I'm all right. Yes, it seems to me we are all being rather...
I do my own haircuts.
Come on, my dear. Let's go to the hotel.
The pilot will bring it.
I'll let you know when I'm free. I hit him up like 2 months ago and he finally got tired. So it's been like 3 plus months without a haircut.
No, I hit a thing.
Yeah. Not fun.
Oh, look. I spent the bulk of the flight in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Pass the fuck out. No, not take off my headphones. How do I flip you? I always have a problem to flip this stupid thing over to the keyboard side. There it is. Then I can go chat with other passengers. Let's see if 19. Say hello. Come on, 19B. I think I'm in 21A, or at least I was in 21A last time. Invite rejected. Well, if I send this, I can only see one seat on 21A. What about seat 23A doesn't accept the invite, then I'm playing the game. I'm playing a game on a game while listening to a podcast about the game. Put my headphones back on and sync them not to the plane. I want to sync it to the phone. Am I still a silver pioneer?
Welcome back to Eggplant, the Sounds of Games.
I've taken
We're
so
all
many
game
flights.
developers, and we have candid conversations with other game creators that dive deep into the art, craft, and
Points for
process of
flying.
making games. I'm Nick Sutton.
Or miles
I'm
of
here with
flying
Andy
or
Dillon.
whatever.
Frequent flyer stuff.
Zach
Yeah.
Gage.
Glad to be aboard.
Doug Wilson.
Hello, everybody.
I want to see
And
if they're going to
special
bring
guest,
the on the
Ozzy.
fly
Hello,
trivia game.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us. We're going to talk all about your game Airplane Mode.
I will just play
which you've all been
Airplane
having
Mode,
a good time
and also-
aboard, as Zach said.
What is this control?
And it's something really different and special. And we got a bunch of questions for you and a couple from our listeners. So thanks for hanging out with us. And I have a little bio for you here. Please correct me if these things are not correct. But you are a graphic designer turned game developer with your company Backronym. You worked on a game called Feed, this really beautiful 3-on-3 fish basketball game kind of thing. And we'll link to it in our show notes. You also worked on Zero Age on iOS, and you've dabbled in VR a bunch as well. And you started Airplane Mode under the working title of Flight Simulator in 2018 as part of the NYU Incubator program. And it was picked up by AMC Games to be published on Steam and available now. Is that all correct?
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome. And yeah, this is a pretty unique game. Folks may have read about a game in which you can take a 2-something-hour flight from JFK to Nova Scotia or a 5-something-hour flight from JFK to Reykjavik and enjoy the fruits of flying within. But if you don't mind sort of describing the game
I missed
for
the
us
fucking
in
snack.
your words,
That's my fault
I'd
for
love
falling
to hear
asleep
from
in the bathroom.
Well, it actually started very differently. It wasn't. The idea wasn't to be just a simulator.
Yeah, but I
It
have
was
real
more,
snacks in the house.
For the longest time, I kind of had like this problem with flying. It wasn't like it was a fear, but sort of the one where I still fly, but like I just dread the time being on in the air. And so a week before flying, I'm always like thinking, what is it I'm supposed to do on this plane right now to distract myself from the fact that I'm suspended in midair. So that's kind of this idea of just kind of sitting in a plane and not doing anything and just waiting for something to happen, especially in the context of a video game. That's kind of where it started. This idea of will it build dread, will it not build dread, and this.
It built dread like the first time, but this is my sixth time remembering it's not built.
So was that not? Now sounds like it was maybe like a kind of a therapeutic thing potentially to acclimatize yourself with it, or more just to sort of see if you could recreate that experience.
It was more that I have all this because the ways I used to try to confront myself before a flight was I just like read up on aviation a lot and so I have all this useless knowledge in my head, or like this little idiosyncrasies of flight, and it became like an outlet for all this stuff. I wouldn't say it was therapeutic as much, because I think if I was still in like I've gotten over it since then, but like if I was still super anxious about flying, I don't think I would have been able to sit through the game and just work on it and like have to to deal with this thing every day in, day out. So I think I past the point where I feel I used it for therapy, but it was definitely an outlet for all of the stuff that I've like been thinking about or reading up on.
Sometimes when I'm working on a piece, like a piece of art, sometimes the inspiration for it comes from having an experience that just feels important or meaningful, and then trying to take that experience and translate what was meaningful about it to other people. Did you feel like that happened with Airplane Mode? I think like something that I was struck by when I started playing it was how singular the experience is. Like as soon as you get into it and start it, you're like, oh yes, this is Airplane Mode. I'm in Airplane Mode. This is the thing. And like, I don't think that's true of a lot of experiences. And I think it's really deft of you to sort of like make that realization and then be able to point it out and recreate it.
Right. Yeah. I think part of that does come into play. What I find like kind of weird, because they say, the idea of flying is boring, right? This in itself is kind of absurd, because on the one hand, you're, like I was saying, you're suspended. Like there's jet engine fuel burning right outside next to you, the sub-zero temperatures, and air pressure, all this stuff, and you're just kind of like nodding off in the chair, sipping wine, watching something. And that idea that you're bored in this kind of context is pretty crazy. Not to mention that like flight has been like this. It's been the dream, right? That's been the thing for centuries. People want to fly, and now that we're flying, and we're just kind of it's so mundane and boring. And why would anyone care about this?
For people listening too, I mean, this is the experience of the game. So you are sitting on a flight from a first-person perspective. Things look relatively photoreal around you, and you can do everything you would expect, right? You can enjoy the in-flight entertainment. You can mess with the armrests. You can go to the restroom.
I can mess with the armrest.
All I can do is you can put on headphones. You can do a crossword puzzle. Like it's sort of the suite of like mundane activities, which is interesting. Like you're saying, it's it's doing these things in the context of like hurling through the air in this metal cylinder that we all like immediately take for granted. It also brought forth a bunch of really interesting like feelings and weird sense memories for me. Like when I was in the airplane bathroom, like I almost smelled it, because I think airplane bathrooms tend to smell a specific way, not a bad way even, just like a very specific scent that I think is nowhere else in life. And like the way that the faucets look, you are really spot on. There was at one point there was sort of a high-pitched whining sound for a little while, and I wasn't sure if that was like the air pressure or a bug or something, but I found myself actually like covering my nose and blowing my ears a little bit to like clear the pressure, like in real life, and it was really weird. And it also, I'll say, like it did feel very nostalgic and bittersweet for me right now, and got me like a little emotional at some point of like just feeling so instantly absorbed into this experience that I've done so many times and taken for granted for so many times. And I thought it was really powerful.
I'd like to add to the thing that you said, because Nick set us up, or set at least me up for like high expectations of like going to the restroom. It's like, oh, don't forget to go to the restroom. And so I go to the restroom, I'm like, what did he mean?
Well, that's like the other thing you know.
And just like, no, you just went to the restroom. And I was like, oh, this is so gorgeous. It's like, it's so nice that you just, of course I'm messing with everything in there, right? Because I'm like expecting something weird to happen.
Yeah, those tissue physics, come on.
I mean, I was trying very hard to get the tissue into the garbage bin, and that was actually super
bad.
Well, talking about you were expecting something weird to happen,
Hasi, maybe you can't even answer this, but are there like shocking or wacky random events that can happen? Because I was under the impression that this probably can't happen. Like, but did you consider putting in like extremely rare events like flying through Aurora Borealis or sitting next to a celebrity or whatever? Or is that not really in the spirit of the game so much?
No, that's definitely there. There's stuff that's in the game that I won't talk about yet, and there's stuff that's coming in that I won't talk about yet, and no one will know when it got in.
Great.
The good thing of having this statistic being kind of real to real life is that you can go like for a few months without putting something in and still have plausible deniability. Right?
Yeah. Okay. Amazing. I was really okay. I got to keep playing that. Well, so on the flip side of that question, airplane mode reminded me a lot of Gone Home, which is like maybe a weird thing to say, but in that I knew rationally that nothing bad was going to happen to me in airplane mode, like in Gone Home, but I couldn't shake this feeling like I was playing a horror game, that some disaster was going to happen. I've seen just too many movies about plane crashes that I think my brain was like irrationally expecting that the whole time. The same thing with Gone Home. I knew it wasn't actually a horror game, but I was like so scared the whole time playing it. And I guess I just feel like airplane mode, whether it wants to be or not, is in dialogue with the whole history of media. Am I just a weirdo, or did other testers kind of report that kind of response, that like unease or like worry that the plane was going to crash?
No, that was actually sort of indirectly part of the design, right? Is because in any film or game, if you're in a plane for too long, something's going to happen to that plane.
Yeah,
If you're in a plane scene, if the plane scene in a movie is a bit too long, and then it's not going to end well, likely, right? And the same with the game. I was trying to think to pick planes, and there were very few, and most of them ended badly.
Yeah.
So that just, I think, I don't know if it's connected to playing a game, and then you're playing a game, and there's expectations there, and even though you like reasonably know that nothing's going to happen, it's like something should happen or might happen. And I think that's part of what I kind of wanted that feeling, because that's how like feel when you fly, right? Most likely nothing's going to happen. Something might. There's this thing you can't shake in the back of your head. And if you did feel that, that's great. But that's not something one can put in and hope that everyone experiences.
Yeah.
There were so many small moments like this. Like I was doing the Sudoku puzzle, and I didn't notice there was turbulence, but then I did, because whenever I tried to draw a number, it's like jittering my hand all over the place. And I'm like, oh no. And then I was like, oh yeah, the noise canceling on these. Oh wait, I'm not actually wearing headphones, right? But the noise canceling on the virtual headphones is very good. Like I didn't hear the turbulence. There are so many of these like really fun diegetic weirdo moments. And I don't even know how to segue this into a question right now. I just like all of that feeling and experience in it. Like to me, this felt a lot like flying in a time when I had a lot of work on my plate, and flying was a like a place to go to have a moment of rest, relaxation, and rest. So I didn't have, unlike some of the other stories here, I didn't have that constant unease. I was just like, I was immediately pulled into it in a way where I was like, what am I going to do here? There's not that much to do yet, but it turns out it's just the right amount to do. So I did the Sudoku puzzle. I don't like Sudoku, right? I did the Sudoku puzzle. I solved it. I even went on a second flight to finish it. And then I realized that there's a podcast in there about experimental music that I immediately recognized the voice of Noah Sasso, right? So I was like, oh, wait, I have to listen to this. I'm going to go on another flight to Reykjavik and start all this stuff again, right?
There's still a bunch of podcasts that I got to listen to.
To me, it was like almost
most of the time I have people with me on the stream, so I don't listen to
meditation aspect of that, if that came to the forefront, and like I've play tested this a lot, right? Because again, coming from the NYU Game Center, I'm pretty sure that's what you do even during the incubator. Like, was that a response that people brought?
Actually, very, very early on. At one point, I was still thinking of it as sort of this idea of like building anxiety, and someone played it, and like this is like so relaxing for me, because flying is my only guilt-free time. Time where I can just I can just zone out and not have to worry that I should be doing something else. and that kind of feel like you get like this game gives me that moment. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm on something else because I thought I was doing something else at that point. So yeah, that came on pretty early.
I mean, the funny thing is, I thought you were doing something else too until I played it. I was like, oh yeah, I was way more expecting this, like, oh, there's going to be some weird events. What could you possibly do? And then I just chilled out. Like I was like, I had a bad morning before that. And then I played the game. And afterward, I was like, wow, I'm super laid back and relaxed all of a sudden, just from being in a virtual flight.
I also really tried to I try to play all games sort of in character and like do what the game is encouraging my character to do. And I feel like here it was just, I was the character. It was just me on a flight. So I was just trying to do what I do on a flight. And I was like having a text chat with a friend before I played the game. And I was like, sorry, I got to like play this game and pay attention and like set that down. And I didn't want external distractions. And I really wanted to focus 100% in the world of the game. And I think I was really enjoying doing that. And I know Doug, like a monster, was like, oh, I might do a second flight and put this on like a second screen. I was like, no, that's, you can't, you got to do this.
So I wanted to ask about that. So I noticed that just to dovetail with that question, I noticed that there's no save functionality, there's no pause game, and I wasn't even able to get the game into windowed mode. I was kind of wondering, I suspect that some of that's on purpose. Like, so I played the first time, and then the second time I was like, I want to compare and contrast my first attentive experience with
cheating if you don't
I'll
do
cheat
that.
it by setting up a second laptop next to me as I work on kind of my main computer, which has felt like I was just kind of cheating myself or cheating the experience. But what's your take on that in terms of like how much the player should kind of go all in on it?
Let me also add a listener question there from our listener John Axon, who said, is it cheating to play the game in sessions, or is the true way to play it doing it in one sitting like a real flight? So just to add on to that, like, do you think, like Doug was saying, do you think
I don't even know how you can
being
play
like
it
a way
in sessions. There's no way to save.
The line that I would say from very beginning is
it
like
pauses
the only
when you
challenge
switch
this
windows.
poses is to actually manage your boredom and just hang in there, because that's
But I've already sat through.
Just this longevity, the stretch of waiting out a flight is part and parcel.
JFK to Halifax
The idea of saving you didn't
twice.
do it in batches just
And
kind
I've done
felt,
Reykjavik.
unbalanced everything. It just changes the whole thing.
JFK twice.
So
once.
it had to be one sitting because that's the way a flight is, and you're kind of trapped in. You can't like put it in a different window. You can do something else. Like I can't stop you from picking up a phone or a book, actual book, and reading it, but I can force your computer to just kind of be in that state.
Yeah. I was on the playtesting thing. How do you playtest a game that is a straightforward 2.5 hour experience or more? Is it like, are you sitting with people? Are you sending them home with it and they're thinking about it? And then also, what were you looking for in those playtests? Were there changes that you made after watching people play?
The game
bugs that are
playtesting because it went through the incubator, so there was a lot of playtesting at different stages. First, when it was just like a student project at NYU, and then when it was in the incubator, and then afterwards when we were working with AMC. The earlier phases was just seeing how people handle it. No one sat through a full flight for, I think, the first few years of development, but it's just seeing. Like just how they react and what they expect from it. And what we realized early on in playtesting is every time we playtest, our wish list of things to include gets longer because everyone projects their expectations of what they want on the flight, right? Can I do this? I can never not take off my shoes in the flight, right? Someone will say that. So if I can't take off my shoes, then this is not an accurate flight simulator. And everyone has their own versions of these,
Well,
and
it's not just accurate to you,
the list
that's
was infinite of what we can actually include. So at some point we had to
I don't
just stop,
take off my shoes.
just say, okay, this is where we're going to put all this other input. We can't really, do much with unless it's
because of safety
That's
reasons.
generally kind of input we were getting. In terms of sitting through the whole flight, that's a problem.
Kind of flight attendant lady. I didn't
really
throw
hard
up in my bag.
because we build in this way of speeding through the flight, but that's not really testing it. That's testing it. So that was it was not great. It wasn't the funnest thing in the world.
How many flights have you been on in the game?
full flight, start to finish, not many at all, actually. I probably shouldn't say how much. I probably shouldn't. It's probably not a good thing.
I think there's a lot of achievements in the game that are interesting, and I was peeking at the list, and I think some more of the subjective flight experience comes through there. And one, I mostly wanted to debate with you guys because I bet you all disagree with me. You have an achievement called Common Courtesy, which is for completing a flight without reclining your seat. And I'm someone who is very pro reclining.
That up already.
I also take the seat plane.
I've already reclined.
And I think it's crazy not to do these things. Like, I think it's crazy not to just be instantly as comfortable as you possibly can on a flight. And if everyone reclines, then it's fine. Then it's not a problem. And I think it's nuts that, like, I think there's like this like Twitter rhetoric of people like, no, that's like the rudest thing, which sounds like maybe you agree with.
But it's not the rudest thing. It's built into the fucking seat. It's meant for you to recline. I don't care about the person.
You can't recline. It's something. They should disable it.
If everyone reclines, isn't it more comfortable for everybody?
No, Nick, it's not, because some of us sleep with our heads on the table, and if someone reclines, that makes it way harder, let alone like trying to use a laptop on a tray table or something. Yeah, I'm very anti-reclining. In fact, hearing you say that, I'm now going to make an extra effort to turn on my phone during a movie. just as like a karmic payback to you to after hearing that you recline your airplane seat.
Oh no, Nick, I'm with you, man.
Yes, maybe. Zach, please join us. It's much more sane on this.
I mean, I do it after the service, right? So, I don't know. There's a point in the flight where I feel like that's when it's totally okay.
I like to kick the seat in front of me.
Did I get this?
Because I'm 10.
Someone give me a raise.
I like how, though, you just outed
I gotta
yourself
follow.
as a phone movie user, Doug. I mean, I feel like that was a big self-own
promotion.
If someone ever complains at me now, I'm just going to say, sorry, Nick.
Thanks for the follow.
His seat back on
but the movie
flight,
theater doesn't come with
Welcome to seat 21A and coach on
I once
PanAtlantica.
went to a movie and someone placed an outgoing call. The first thing they said was, "No, it's fine. I'm at a movie."
That's me. That's me. Every time someone leans their seat back, I'm gonna take it out on the movie. No.
Oh man. Yeah. You also, well, I guess, okay, so we all know where we stand. You had another achievement, the no-fly list, which is for completing a flight after a 1-year break from flying, which I think is cool. And I'm curious how you see this game like fitting into people's lives.
It's not like that achievement on,
maybe put it down for a while and then come back later.
The Stanley Parable,
maybe changes, maybe not.
Where there's an achievement that you touch the game after 5 years of not playing it.
Think about like coming back to it.
My 5 years are up.
Maybe
April.
Should have more this. Can I say myself? I don't know what that actually changes about. The whole point of
my 5 years are up in April.
Really not the issue.
If I can get that achievement,
it's the time between these points, and they can be anything.
The point of life.
You're right. So I actually don't know how to answer that question. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what people get from it. I have what I hope people get from it, right? But I'm not. I don't know if. Well, for example, if someone like Andy was saying gets the Zen feeling, that's going to be a very different than someone where it's actually like a horror game. The replayability, if you want, it varies like dramatically in that case. So I honestly don't know, but
there's replayability.
I know that it's really not about the places.
Have you seen people playing it in any like unexpected ways or any weird behavior? Like, I, for instance, in the beginning, I was like, I'm not going to buckle my seatbelt and see what happens, just because like that's the first thing you want to. It's like starting a racing game and driving the wrong way around the track. Like immediately, you just kind of want to like, and like nothing wrong with me, but I immediately felt some anxiety about it. So I was like, damn it, I better buckle my seatbelt. So I don't know with that sort of a thing, but have you seen unexpected behavior in players come out or heard about it when you're showing it?
I remember
I spent an entire flight
like an action game. It's like all really quickly. Everything has to be kept, and then he did all the interaction, and he's like, "Okay, I'm done. What now?" And I didn't know how to answer that question. But also, there was. Remember once, I think this was at a show or something, but someone just put it on and just like started texting his friend, and just kind of just went on with his life. And I'm like, I like that. I get it. This is the one that stood out. Recently, I haven't been able to see as much people testing. What I like to see is waiting for that moment where they're thinking, "Wait, nothing's going to happen, right? This is it. That's that moment. That you can often see it on the.
Yay! Now, if I can do it 6 more times. Oh, look, exactly 10 minutes. If I can do it 6 more times or 5 more times, I can get that achievement.
I feel like I probably have a pretty standard relationship with flying.
Oh no!
But
Final Approach.
I sat down to play it, and I thought, well, I'm really excited about this game, and I'll play it this one time. And then, as soon as I finished it, I thought, that's not really how I fly. Like, how I fly is I get on an airplane and I go to sleep, and I wake up and I'm there. And now I desperately want to play it again, at 11:30 p.m. and just put it on and then go to sleep and
flight turbulence
high and just sort of see what happens and when I wake up and do I?
Oh wait, no, I'm listening to podcast. Give me my headphones back.
Surprised.
Nope, God damn it.
Trying to do it it just strikes me. So that's such a bizarre thing that when you play this game matters, and the mental state that you're in, and how you feel going into it, and what time it is, and what you're doing, and what's going on in your life. All of those things are so important to the experience of playing this game, and I don't think I've ever felt that way with a video game. Obviously, if I'm going to sit down and play Apex Legends, if I'm really awake, that's better than if I'm really tired. But that's not really a fundamental shift in what the game is like. But for this game, it's so different going into that with those different mindsets.
Yeah, I had a weird experience with that where I took a sleeping pill in the beginning of the game and I kind of forgot about it. And then I was watching the Bugs Bunny cartoon, and I just felt, I can't even describe it, but a weird thing where you kind of start the game starts vignetting and it starts fading away into black or whatever, very subtly. And I was playing the game kind of late at night, and I sort of had a moment where I snapped out of it almost as if I started falling asleep in real life, and then kind of realized what was happening in the game. And it was totally surreal. And then I went to sleep in the game, and then I woke up and I missed my meal service, and I was sad.
Always sad when I miss the meal service.
Well, and I missed the wine service, and I was really bent out of shape. Now, mind you, it's 10 a.m. in the morning for me.
1 o'clock is cool,
missing a
but
virtual wine
change it
service.
to 11.
It's a bad sign.
Fuck,
It
man.
was fascinating. So, Hosni, there's a really interesting thing going on here, right? Where I feel all of us are describing to you our quote unquote mundane, minute, moment to moment experience.
5 hours, woke up at
and it's normally, right? We try to case these things into questions. Right? How do you come up with this? But in this experience, I don't feel that's actually very fitting, right? To be well, how did you think about the experience that would happen? There's this. It's just the sequencing of these small things that seem so mundane, and yet they're so distant to us right now. So our listener Ike says, I looked up a timeline for airplane mode and saw that work began in 2017. The game seems like such a good fit for 2020 since it's much more difficult to get the real experience of the simulation. Was the steep drop off in operated flights?
I don't know. They're the ones that wanted a flight, so I did the flight.
It just
otherwise I'd be playing.
I don't know, whatever. No way at that point, but it was strange because
there's a backlog on my things. I'll probably play
while we were fleshing out this airplane, and at some point we're okay, are we putting the newest
the old man games?
Are we going back in terms of nostalgia?
Well, that one too, but
and then
because I discovered a mode that lets me
sort of
build.
Time. Okay, this is the every flight, right? Not something too
because that station's still not running.
Modern, not something too old. The crappy touch screen. The fight, and so that was kind of we were kind of going for recent nostalgia, knowing that it's probably not going to land. But it landed in unexpected ways because, it just became a nostalgic game all of a sudden, and that was just not what we had anticipated, obviously.
But even they're so small, they're deep. So here's a detail. I wonder if anyone of you noticed this, which is it's a crazy detail to me, right?
It's the little hole on
frost circle around the dot on the window.
But windows don't always do that.
When I saw that, I was just this is crazy. Right.
There's a story behind the frost system because, when I was a kid, I saw this thing, right, and I'm oh my god, the window's shattering, right, and I should tell someone, it's my responsibility to tell the flight attendant, right? And so I'm like, told my older sister, I'm going to tell the flight attendant.
Cross circle.
She's like, are you crazy? Like, she's going to laugh at you, right? I'm like, okay, fine. But this whole time, the whole flight, I was just worried about this thing because it kept getting bigger and bigger. I'm thinking, if anything happens to this plane, it's my fault, right? Because I didn't say anything about it. And then like later, I read up on it, or I was told about it and stuff, and so it became like a big thing in flying for me. So I made sure that it had to be there.
Amazing.
Because it was
it's absolutely amazing.
Oh my God. Were there any other personal experiences that you had that directly connected to this like that? I feel free to say no. I don't want to like push a perfect.
It's a matter of, okay, so there's like a billion details that we can't actually put in the game. So the ones that got put in are to other of us at some point in time in the team. Because they've all had certain experiences with like a certain item. So like these kind of fed its way into what we include and what we don't include. In addition to obviously requests that are very common. I remember at one point one of the biggest requests that we actually never fulfilled was, and it was a weird one. It was, and I get it, but it was a weird one. It was a feature on the wing, right? Mm-hmm. That was like very, very frequently requested, and I won't say more about that for now. but at some point, for example, there was not going to be a bathroom, and then we realized the bathroom is a necessity. It's that trip to the bathroom is
the essential experience of being on a plane.
I didn't know it was an option until I saw the achievement, and it was like spend at least an hour in the bathroom, and I was like, you can go in the bathroom? Oh my, this is so exciting.
I want to spend an hour in the bathroom.
You have to wait for passengers to leave it, right? And so that people stay for too long. So
not the falling asleep.
They're not able to go to the bathroom, but we're
and you can't be buckled. If you're buckled, your character looks down to the buckle to the belt. It's like, oh, I can't get up yet. That's how I discovered it.
No, but I have to go to the real bathroom.
Especially the authenticity of like the in-flight magazine and all the small details.
In a few minutes.
I think it's not trivial to come up with like a whole magazine of convincing logos and companies.
Well, I go to
in a way
the actual
that feels
bathroom
like
as well.
Totally realistic and cohesive and isn't distracting. And I think a lot of games might take that as an opportunity to be like very jokey with it, but I think you play it very largely straight. And I'm curious what your direction was for that, and if it was tempting to not do that.
Yeah, that was exactly my question too. The piece of media I thought about immediately when I started playing airplane mode is that Blah Airlines promotional video that Virgin ran as like a marketing campaign, which is like this 5-hour, 45-minute YouTube video documenting this like fictional cross-continental flight, but it's super jokey and it features lots of like outrageous situations and satire. But to Nick's point, like airplane mode plays it pretty straight. But yeah, so I was also curious to that degree, like how humorous do you consider the game to be? Is this a humor game, or is it a game that we can kind of see as like poking fun at flying, but that's not the is humor? Was that the intention from the beginning, or not so much?
Yeah, this is. I would definitely classify it as a comedy game, but we play it deadpan.
Yeah,
that's the way we go about it, like just straight-faced comedy. Or otherwise, I think that works. But in this situation, I don't think the joke would land as well if we weren't like super deadpan about how we approach everything, from the in-flight video to the magazine, everything there. Like hints of humor, but clearly. Well, I thought this was like clearly supposed to be funny. I'm not sure if everyone picks up on that because that's that's subjective. But
that's great. Maybe it's because we know him, but Bennett Foddy impersonating the captain, talking about delays. I thought that was really good in terms of the deadpan humor, like poking fun at that everyday.
Now I got you. You're a dead wabbit.
Telegram for Elmer Fudd.
What's up, Doc? Dear nephew, I'm waiving you $3 million in my will. Uncle Wooey. Oh boy, a witch, a witch. P.S. But you don't get 1 cent if you harm any animals, especially wabbits. You're free.
Cabin crew, prepare for landing.
Oh boy, they dropped the wabbit.
Look, fellas, I'm Rin Tin Tin.
Now I got you. You're a dead wabbit.
Telegram for Elmer Fudd.
Oh, did we land?
What's up, Doc? Dear nephew, I'm waiving you $3 million in my will. Uncle Wooey. Oh boy, a witch, a witch. P.S. But you don't get 1 cent if you harm any animals, especially wabbits. You're free now with the wabbit. Go and whomp and frolic in the forest. Oh boy, I'm witch.
Okay, fellas, bring it up, bring it up.
$3 million.
La-da-da-da-da-da-da, angel in the skies. La-da-da-da-da-da-da, la-da-da-da-da-da-da, la-da-da-da. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captain turns off the fasten seatbelt sign. This will indicate that we have parked at the gate and that it is safe for you to get up. Cellular phones may be used now.
Split into the texture there. I haven't heard a baby crying on a flight yet, so that's an experience.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kennedy International Airport. Local time is currently around 9:45. would like to thank you for choosing PanAtlantica on your trip today. We know you have a choice of carriers, and we appreciate you choosing PanAtlantica today. We'd love to see you on board again soon. In the meantime, have a wonderful stay.
Yay, achievements. Flight on this thing. Oh, I should enable error recording next time. Then I know how to trigger that glitch. But yes. That means if I take a return flight, there's JFK back to Reykjavik or JFK back to Halifax. On the next time that I do a return flight, which I don't know, but they seem to happen once a week so far. That satisfies my traveling need. So, woo. I might be back later on in the afternoon. I'm not sure yet, but in the meantime, is there anyone on that I want to raid? Not really. I guess we can toss it over to the Tony Blacks for now.